After falling to Alyssa Thomas and the Connecticut Sun 87-81 on Wednesday, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were eliminated from the WNBA playoffs, which puts the WNBA in serious peril. It was the Fever's first postseason trip since the 2016 campaign, with Clark of Boston and Kelsey Mitchell leading the way. The Fever wrapped up the season strong and secured the 6th seed in the WNBA standings. Furthermore, you may think that given Caitlin's first year, it's not too awful. Indeed, you are correct. However, the early elimination from the playoffs is currently the worst thing that could have occurred to the WNBA. They're also going too far in trying to repair this. Will the other players get the same audience that Clark does? No. Will the opposing teams attract spectators? No. At the very least, will they be bringing in entire stadiums? The response then is no. With the Fever out of the picture, the W is in serious trouble from now on. Will all likely see a sharp decline in the number of viewers at last. They have known what it's like to perform for an audience of individuals who can actually breathe without the need of an air compressor since the hunt for the golden toilet began this past weekend. I am acquainted with the community of identifiers. They hope to continue this fall celebration. Nevertheless, Uncle Casey is here to inform you that the celebrations are over. Reality is wrapping up on the porta-potty door, and finally the truth is coming to light. The same vitality that will start to wane here in about 12 hours due to Caitlin Clark's elimination from the postseason is now being proven. Caitlin Clark, star of Beyond a Reasonable Doubt, wins at the box office. Caitlin Clark is a draw in contrast to the rest of the WNBA. It is merely a well-polished turd. Fans of Caitlin Clark seem to have taken notice. I got the ratings for the first set of games in the quest for the golden toilet last night. As anticipated, Caitlin Clark was able to draw despite going up against the NFL's early games immediately, and the rest of the WNBA was predictably given no attention at all. Therefore, it is anticipated that the WNBA will now totally collapse. Additionally, who would have pondered? Everyone present recognized that Caitlin was the reason for attention, and the people are gone now that she's gone. However, because the WNBA and its sponsors have realized this, it goes much farther now that they need a rating and can't use a rookie girl as their poster girl because she's out there attempting to repair the damage. Furthermore, based on behind-the-scenes information, she isn't quite the dream poster girl that the W's were looking for, and all of this is currently being revealed in front of our very eyes. What is wrong with the NBA? He has therefore produced an article about Nike and the reasons behind their reluctance to exploit Caitlin Clark. What is the problem with inclusion, equity, and diversity? Why is this racial agenda so flawed? What is wrong with this Black Queen's agenda? There has never been anything for the WNBA, so it was challenging for Cheryl Miller to have an impact. With this woman, it was challenging for Candace Parker to make a difference. I wonder why she isn't getting promoted now that the WNBA is no longer significant. And didn't Nike get her around the age of 22 or 32 for a very reasonable $28 million split over 8 years? That doesn't add up, in my opinion. Jason Whitlock is absolutely right when he asks why Nike would spend so much money and then fail to deliver on its lone asset. Additionally, why wouldn't the WNBA dedicate any resources to its lone asset? Everything is related to the stereotype that the W wants to see, which is that she is wearing Bryant shoes, and it's her first NBA season in the playoffs. 20 years ago, Nike saw the opportunity to release LeBron James's shoe and acted quickly on it. For whatever reason, they can't do this for Caitlin Clark, and the worst of it isn't even here. He moves, though it wasn't really pushed forward. Caitlin, it appeared as though an Iowa Nike commercial was playing. Since going professional, Clark has not starred in a Nike advertisement, despite some people believing that since she has been the biggest sports star for the past 4 years, television ratings have decreased. In conclusion, Nick took advantage of a once-in-a-generation marketing opportunity to promote outdated merchandise. Why is this happening? Here's the money, which is based on conversations with knowledgeable individuals. Yes, there is a connection to Asia Wilson, a Nike athlete in the WNBA MVP. I was that person going back to Ethan. Now, Clark's Fever is competing in the WNBA playoffs, but instead of wearing her own line of sneakers, she's wearing Copes. Beyond Wilson, however, the problem is with the company's culture, which places more emphasis on suppressing dissent than on fostering it, as Nike formerly did. What impact does this have? It's clear. Dawn Staley and the other incensed feminists from Yas Queen are saying that you shouldn't do that for the white girl until you've made this 6 feet 5 inches black woman more popular than the white girl. You should also ask yourself why the WNBA is using A'ja Wilson to lead the playoffs instead of Kelsey Mitchell or Caitlin Clark. Why must you form a line? You're not white. I will not be selling shoes. A'ja Wilson's tale is obviously over. These people are idiots who don't care about business. Their objective isn't to grow the WNBA. Instead, they need to work on inclusion, equity, and diversity. The treatment Caitlin Clark is getting is absurd. It's not smart business, and it lacks long-term. The league can move on from Caitlin Clark now that she has been eliminated, which is what they and Nike want at least, right? The WNBA playoffs end when this woman is probably eliminated tonight. You might be wondering why they did nothing but sit and watch when John Carrington stabbed her in the eye. That's exactly what happened. What do you think of that? Will the fans pay attention when she returns the next year? Please let me know in the comment section below. With Clark out of the picture, is this year's W over? Returning to Clark and her performance from last night, even though the Fever made a remarkable comeback during the season, the Sun won and advanced to the WNBA playoffs for the 6th consecutive year, so there is still plenty to be happy about. This team was written off after starting the season with a 1-8 record, but the Fever can still improve with Clark and Boston together as rookies. Both Clark and Boston were chosen to the WNBA All-Star team, so it's very likely that the Fever will have consecutive Rookie of the Year winners. If they can continue to improve despite the lost Fever rookie sensation, the Fever will most likely return for the following season. Caitlin Clark was the first rookie to achieve June 9th. 25 in an NBA or WNBA playoff game since Magic Johnson in 1980, and she put up a fantastic performance, finishing with 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists while nearly leading Indiana to a season-saving fourth quarter. Even though Clark has only played in 2 postseason games, she has contributed to making this one of the best rookie seasons in WNBA history. After a tough shooting night in Game 1, Clark had a strong start in the second game, making her first three-pointer. However, when the Fever tried to re-enter the game in the fourth quarter, Clark found new life despite his heavy workload. With 4 minutes left, she made a three-pointer to give Indiana a late lead, but Sun guard Marina Mabrus swiftly responded with a 3 of her own, giving the Sun the upper hand and the Fever rising to the 6th seed. After determining the best player lineup and style of play following a slow start to the season, Indiana picked up the pace and added Lexi Hull to the starting lineup, eventually becoming one of the top offensive teams. The Fever now face a pivotal summer in which they must continue to improve around their 2 key players, Clark and Aaliyah. As the season progressed, Christie's side saw that Mitchell and Clark had a good chemistry and began using their combined moves to create tension for defenders. If Clark improves in her sophomore season, Boston could lead a team to a championship. Reigning guard Kelsey Mitchell, who thrived after the Olympic break this year and later elevated the Fever offense, will be the team's first goal this summer. Mitchell scored 19.2 points per game on average during the season, and the Fever might add an athletic winger to their rotation as an outside addition. Hull performed admirably as a 3-and-D option this season, but the Fever need a player who can fill in for him in smaller lines or as a backup. Consider the player Misha Hines-Allen of Minnesota Lynx, who will be a free agency this summer. Additionally, the star became the first player in WNBA history to average at least 18 points each game, setting a new record. Even though Clark had a difficult first game, she has repeatedly demonstrated that no amount of difficulty can stop her from succeeding because she never lets the past get in the way of her current performance and always gives it her all. The Fever guard, like a 10-year veteran, has a goldfish memory with 25 points. The only other athlete to have accomplished this feat in both the WNBA and the NBA is Michael Jordan, who averaged 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 2.0 steals, and 1.0 blocks per game over the course of a series, including the Fever's season-ending loss to the Sun. 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 10 of 23 points on 10 to 23 shooting since playoff series require different numbers of games. Comparing Clark to Jordan may be misleading. However, the Fever guard stat racking will soon lead to postseason triumph. No one can overstate Caitlin Clark's cultural impact. She led the Fever in Game 2, having only 3 turnovers below her season average. This was a good rebound from her 11.8 assist game in the opener when she made 4 of 17 field goals. Her life transformation earned her a lovely piece of history. The WNBA first-round games are best of 3. She has received a record number of WNBA viewers. Her marketability has contributed to the NBA's attraction, but her skill allowed the Fever, who had a terrible start to the 2024 season, go from a lottery club to a postseason contender in a single season. Despite her increasing agony, Clark has proved that she belongs and wants to remain at the top of the WNBA by becoming more at ease playing against the league's veterans. If she resolves her turnover problems, Clark 22 should surpass the assist mark, one of the several WNBA records she has established. In order to make the Fever become a title, Clark should draw in free agents. Will you watch Fever again next season, contender? They might place in the top 4 and make it to the 2025 postseason semifinals. Please leave your comments below and sign up for daily WNBA news.